and good afternoon. You like my shirt? Patrick Mahomes is my homie. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. Let's go through the NFL draft. We'll go through the first 10, and then we'll go through the Bears and Chiefs in particular. And we'll also name every player that will be drafted. For the first pick, the Tennessee Titans will likely draft Cam Ward. It has fallen into one of these situations that the quarterback, Cam Ward, was the expected player. At one time, it was Shadir Sanders, but since that has changed and has changed in a big way. The Titans enter their, which Shadir Sanders has dropped all the way to 29 of the Cleveland Browns. But let's focus on Cam Ward. The Titans' offseason has been structured as around making Ward the first pick of the NFL draft, as teams spent long offensive linemen with Dan Moore and Kevin Sitzler to protect the Patriots sign-in caller. Ward is a dynamic and innovative thrower, and he can be the answer under center in Tennessee. Their head coach is now Brian Callahan, who remained with the Tennessee Titans, who is a new head coach for the Tennessee Titans, or as in his second year with the Tennessee Titans. We won't name every head coach, but we'll outline the important ones. The Cleveland Browns are projected to draft wide receiver and cornerback of Colorado, Travis Hunter. There's been a long time since a player has played both positions in the NFL, both defense and offense in the NFL. Cleveland GM Andrew Berry said the Browns view on Hunter primarily wide receiver at the next level, but also acknowledge they would use him on both sides of the ball. If they take him at 2, he can help them on both places, especially in the passing offense, which has averaged a league yard 5.9. It's hard to find a weakness in his game. I have given up on PlayStation. Just a side note, it's driving me crazy. Sorry, we'll get back to the NFL draft. The third pick of the New York Giants is Aldu Carter, the best defensive edge and best defensive player in the draft. While Giants have exclusively homework on top quarterbacks in the class, Colorado Shadir Sanders, I believe, will ultimately opt out for the best player available. Carter Hunter joins in a 2-player top tier and rare first step of the edge helped him to 12 sacks this last season as a college player at the University of Penn State. He has changed his consistency into double-digit sacks, generating at the NFL level. Number 4 is, according to Field Yates, which is all the picks, Will Campbell, offensive tackle at LSU. A pair of notable offensive tackles, receivers, the Patriots have work to do in supporting their quarterback, Drake May, in his second season. Campbell checks 1. The Patriots have the new head coach and Mike Vrabel. The Jacksonville Jaguars. Yates predicts Ashton Gentry will have more to come with the Bears and him in just a moment. Running back Boise State is one of the best players I've seen in a long time, competing with current Eagle and former Giant first-round pick of the Giants a good while back, Saquon Barkley. New Jaguars GM James Gladstone has used his paraphrase incredibly rich during the pre-draft process. Gentry fits a description of a top 5 prospect, rare contact, and balance and power and explosion. I would personally attack the defensive side of the ball if I were Jacksonville shoes, but the new head coach Lima Cohen might want to get a quarterback, Trevor Lawrence, more playmakers. Many around the league believe the Jaguars head coach is headed in that direction. The Las Vegas Yates prediction is Kevin Banks offensive tackle out of Texas. Banks has a favorite prospect throughout the process, has a lot of trans weight from high picks. He has expressed 42 career starts, has been very good for Clonto. Miller is entering his final year of his contract with the teams and can never enough quality offensive linemen. I've also heard Gentry being named here, but he's off the board at number mock draft. New York Jets, Yates predicts Mason Graham, defensive tackle. This would be representing an excellent value for the Jets. Graham is number 3 overall on the board, but he would check in his need for the Jets along with defensive front. I could see them putting a disruptive pass rusher right next to Queen Williams. Missouri offensive line, Armand Membo would logically be a target. Well, here comes the local pick out of Missouri, the Carolina Panthers. Admu Mimir, offensive tackle. I know the defense is Carolina Panthers in the worst 31.4 points in a lost session, but the offensive line becomes a bigger problem very soon. And final year of the contracts, Carolina does not pick. Carolina has to improve. Bryce Young projection. Mambu is another tone setter who makes the impact in the run game and careered just 1 sack during the 2024 season. In New Orleans Saints production, Yates, Jalen Walker, edge linebacker out of Georgia. The Saints could go a lot of directions throughout. I get the sense that in talking to people around the league that quarterback isn't one of them. The teams must be younger and more explosion up front as a defense as it moves into a new scheme under coordinator Brandon Staley. And finally, the Chicago Bears will go through for the local fans. Tyler Warren, tight end, Penn State. After requiring the offensive lineman in free agency, their draft could go back to the offensive line. Keep adding, they could draft a final category of Warren, 7th round per prospect. People have spoken. The NFL already imagining creative offensive wrinkles. Ben Johnson could link for Warren, who traffic football hands. Kuiper's notes on this one. This would be a fun pick if Warren is there, but I'm betting Chicago will jump at even Graham if he's still available. I've also had the Bears like to move down if there's no home run. But Ashton Gentry is a home run for me, and if the Bears need to get him, well, they need to get him. And if that means trading up, well, that means trading up. I would give a first and a third, maybe in a first and a second, to get that solved. Again, at 11, Yates' pick is Mikael Williams. Dallas Cowboys, Tria McKellen, wide receiver, Oregon. 13 pick, Miami Dolphins, Will Johnson, cornerback. Indianapolis, pick Carlton Levin, Michigan. 15, Mike Green, edge, Walt Marshall. 16, Arizona Cardinals, Yates predicts Josh Simmons, offensive tackle of Ohio State. Cincinnati Bengals, Yates predicts Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, Ole Miss. 18, Seattle Seahawks project Gary Zabler, guard, North Dakota State. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Yates picks prediction
Jaddy Barron,
cornerback, Texas. Denver Broncos, Yates prediction Matthew Golden, wide receiver, Texas. Pittsburgh Steelers,
Omarion Hampton,
running back, North Carolina. Los Angeles Chargers, Yates pick prediction Tyler Broker, guard, Alabama. Yates pick prediction for the Texas A&M 23rd pick, Minnesota Vikings. 23rd pick, Green Bay Packers. Everybody's mock board is different, so don't look at one and subtract this one. This one is according to Fields Gates earlier today or last night. 24th pick, Minnesota Vikings. Yates, Josh Cornell Jr., offensive tackle, Oregon. Los Angeles Rams. Yates pick, prediction, Carson. 27, Baltimore Ravens. Yates pick, prediction, Malik Starks, safety, Georgia. Detroit Lions pick, Yates pick, prediction, Devon Jackson, guard, Ohio State. Cleveland Browns, VA, Washington. Yates picks prediction, Cedar Sanders, quarterback, Colorado. 31, Yates prediction, Maxwell Harrison, cornerback, Kentucky. 31, Kansas City Chiefs. James Prince, edge, Tennessee. The Chiefs could add another player with a stellar physical transient defense. Preers has a double-digit sacks and potential and ton of upside through most of having him slide into the second round. Let's go over the teams for the first round. The Chiefs could use a left tackle and a wide receiver. It's the right person. Always need more guys to catch the ball. This is for me. Since Rashid Rice is going to be suspended, although I keep saying it's not happening yet, and it's been more than a year for Rashid Rice. So when is the suspension coming? It probably should come. Even being a Chiefs fan, I know that this suspension is necessary when you get in a race and you hit somebody else and have a kid go to the hospital. It makes sense that this kid, that Rashid Rice would be charged. Josh Simmons, offensive tackle, is another player mentioned likely as prediction to the Ravens at 27. If he drops this far, I think you would take him or more moving up. It's not really my approach to moving up. My normal approach should be getting the most lottery picks. At the same time, most analysts believe that, and Brett Deveach seems to be different as he likes to move up in the draft and is very aggressive in that situation. Cornerback, maybe another place that's set is there at least a second round or third round pick, their need for the value. Maxwell Harrison is cornerback out of Kentucky. The Edges took cornerbacks for the first round and years ago, but this doesn't mean they won't add a defensive back considering the turnover of the offseason. Harrison, he combines who is just a scratching of the talent for the Super Bowl champions, the Philadelphia Eagles. Project could move back with Ashton with a trade with the Indianapolis Colts. But that's not maybe what I would do if Ashton Gentry is there. Otherwise, keep adding to your lottery. Bears, maybe not. Draft at the 10th pick. We're going to do the local tie of the NHL first. But I'm going to get to the game last since the Blues play last. Florida Panthers and Tampa Bay Lightning. 1-0. Florida Panthers face-off is at 5:30 from Florida. Ottawa Senators and Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs lead 2-0. Face-off from Ottawa is at 6 o'clock. Las Vegas Knight and Minnesota Wilds face-off. The series is 2-0. Las Vegas Golden Knights face-off is at 8:30. The St. Louis Blues and the Winnipeg Jets play. The Jets are up 2-0 on the Blues. The Blues can't afford to fall down 3-0 as that is almost impossible to come back from. Face-off is at 8:30. In the NBA, New York Knicks play Detroit Pistons. Tip is at 6 on TNT. Thunder Grizzlies, tip is at 8:30. Denver Los Angeles Clippers, tip is at 9. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report. A long report. Sorry for that, but that's just the way it goes sometimes. This is Sam Vaughn for Sam Sports Report.